Good morning, everyone. Today I will teach you the last topic of chapter 3, Plant Kingdom, that is, alternation of generation in plants. As you know, each plant has, whether it is algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes or gymnosperm. In all the plants, not only in the case of the plants, but in animals also, the plant as well as the animal has two stages in their life cycle. Especially, we have to discuss regarding the alternation of generation in plants. So each individual, whether it is plant or animal, the organism has how many stages in their life cycle? Two stages. These are haploid and diploid stages. As you know, the haploid and diploid stage. In the haploid stage, a single set of the chromosome is found in the cells. In each cell, a single set of the chromosome is present, but in diploid stage, or you can say in the diploid stage, in a diploid cell, two sets of the chromosomes are present. So, if the dominant stage is the diploid stage, suppose in the case of human being, the diploid stage, it comes for the longer duration. The main body of the human being, other animals, the plants like gymnosperm, angiosperm, the main plant body is sporophyte. We are also sporophyte. Why we are sporophyte? Because the cell has two sets of the chromosomes. Our body cells, they are diploid. And because of the diploid cells, we are sporophyte. As you know, two sets of the chromosomes are present in our body. In a single set, how many chromosomes are there? 23. In another set, again 23. So total, two sets of the chromosomes are there, and these are total number of the chromosomes, that is 46. So because of the two sets of the chromosomes, because of the diploid cells, we are said to be what? Sporophyte. But haploid stage also comes in our life cycle in our body. When the gametes are produced. As you know, the sperm and ovum in male and female respectively, these gametes, they are haploid. The sperm has total 23 number of the chromosomes, and they all are present in a single set, means one set of the chromosome is present in a sperm, while in egg also, which comes from the female, a single set of the chromosome is found having 23 number of the chromosomes. So haploid stage also comes in our lifetime, but at the time of sexual reproduction, at the time of gamete formation. But most of the time, we are in the diploid stage, we are in the sporophyte condition, sporophytic stage. That's why the dominant stage of our life cycle is sporophyte. In the plants also, as I told you, the sporophyte and gametophyte, these two stages, they come. This is not so that once I have told you that the main plant body of the angiosperm is sporophyte, means the sporophyte is the dominating stage. The gametophyte also comes in their life cycle, but for the shorter duration. If the main plant body like algae is gametophyte, again the sporophyte stage comes, but for the shorter duration. So, what is alternation of generation? Alternation of generation is a type of life cycle in which the haploid and diploid stages, or you can say the gametophyte and sporophyte stages, comes in the alternate order in the life cycle of the plants as well as in animals, or you can say in the individual body. And this alternation of the haploid and diploid stages, or you can say the gametophytic and sporophytic, or sporophytic and gametophytic generation, this alternation, this cycling, or you can say the recycling of these two stages, that is called alternation of generation. In the plants, the three kinds of alternation of generation takes place, and these are Heplantic life cycle, the second one is the Diplontic life cycle, and the third one is the Haplodiplontic life cycle. All the three life cycles are already given in the NCERT book in chapter 3. So let us start all these three life cycle, that is haploid, Haplontic, Diplontic and Haplodiplontic life cycles. The first one, this is the flow chart. I have drawn here all the three life cycles. The first one is the Haplontic life cycle. You will observe in this diagram what is Haplontic life cycle. First of all, in Haplontic life cycle, the dominant stage in the plant is the haploid stage. Simply you can say that the haploid stage comes in the plant for the maximum time, for the maximum duration, while the sporophyte stage, it is the unicellular stage, is single-celled stage, that is zygote, it comes in their life cycle, but remaining all the parts, all the cells, they are haploid cells. Overall, you can say that in Haplontic life cycle, the haploid stage, it comes for the maximum duration. It is the dominating stage. It is the stage in which the process of photosynthesis takes place, the vegetative growth takes place, and the diploid stage is confined only up to the zygote formation, in the zygote formation, and that zygote is made up of a single cell. You can see here the diagram. The Haplontic life cycle occurs in algae like volvox, eudorhina, pandorhina, eulothrix, chlamydomonas. Means these are the algae in which what kind of the life cycle is there? Haplontic life cycle. So in the Haplontic life cycle, you will start from here. The main plant body is what? Gametophyte. Why I have said here gametophyte? As I told you, in all the cells, the number of the set of the chromosome is single. There is a single set of the chromosome, and because of the single set of the chromosome, the cells, they are said to be what? Haploid. And because of the haploid cells in the main plant body, the plant body is said to be what? Gametophyte. So the main plant body is what? Gametophyte. During the life cycle, at the time of reproduction, the gametophytic plant of the algae produces the gametes. These are male and female gametes. The gametes are always haploid, as you know. So here, when the main gametophytic plant produces the gametes, they produce the gametes by the process of mitosis. It's very, very important that there are two kinds of the cell division which takes place, mitosis and meiosis. As you know, in the case of mitosis, the same number of the chromosomes, they are going to be transferred into the new cells, while in the case of meiosis, the number of chromosomes, they are reduced, just it becomes half to their parent cell. So if the plant body is already haploid, and as you know, the gametes are always haploid, so what kind of the cell division will takes place? Mitosis. So during the process of gamete formation, or you can say gametogenesis, this gametophytic plant produces gametes. These are male and female gametes. Then the male and female gamete both are fused together to form what? Zygote. And the process of the fusion of male and female gamete, that is called fertilization, or you can say syngamy. So I have written here syngamy. And due to the fusion of the male and female gametes, which structure is formed? Zygote, and zygote is diploid in nature. So till the time you are studying about the haploid stage, and the main plant body, as I told you, is haploid. But when the two gametes are fused together, then it forms what? Zygote, and zygote, it becomes what? Diploid. So here the sporophyte condition also comes, but this sporophytic condition, or the sporophyte condition, or 2N condition, comes for the shorter duration. It denotes, you can say, up to the in the zygote only. So zygote is diploid. This is not gametophyte. The diploid stage, again the zygote, by the process of the meiosis, the zygote, it forms what? Haploid spores. As you know, when the process of meiosis takes place, again the zygote divides, and zygote produces so many spores, and later on each spore again it can produce the new gametophytic plant. So what you have observed in this flow chart, in this diagram, that the haploid stage, end stage, it comes for the maximum time, while the diploid stage is confined in the zygote only. It comes for the shorter duration, and that's why the life cycle is said to be what? Haplantic life cycle. And you have to learn that in all the haplantic life cycle, the meiosis takes place in the zygote. Actually, meiosis occurs at the two places: during the gamete formation or after the zygote formation. If the main plant body is haploid, if the main plant body is gametophyte, in that case zygotic meiosis takes place. But if the main plant body is sporophyte, in that case the gametic meiosis takes place, means the meiosis takes place during the gamete formation. So here zygotic meiosis takes place. Why the process of meiosis is going on here in the zygote? If the zygote will develop into the new plant will be sporophyte. As you know, the main plant is gametophyte. That's why the zygote undergoes into the meiosis division to produce all these spores, and the gametophytic generation is restored. So in the Heplantic life cycle, the main plant body is haploid and diploid stage comes for the very short duration. It is the sporophyte is denoted, or it comes into the zygote only, which is unicellular. So the dominating phase gametophyte, you can say, is multicellular, and sporophyte condition is diploid and it is unicellular. Zygote, as you know, it is the fusion product of the sperm, male and female gametes, and zygote is one-celled in structure. So gametophytic, it is multicellular stage, and zygote, it is a single-celled stage. Now the second one, that is Diplontic life cycle. The Diplontic life cycle is just opposite to the Haplontic life cycle. The Diplontic life cycle occurs in some of the plants like gymnosperms and angiosperms. In all the gymnosperms and angiosperms, the life cycle is what? Diplontic. In Diplontic life cycle, the main plant body is sporophyte, while the gametophyte stage is unicellular, and this stage in the life cycle, the diploid stage comes for the maximum time, and haploid stage, it comes for the shorter duration. Why the main plant body is said to be sporophyte? Because the cells, they are diploid in nature. If you will take any cell from any plant which belongs from the gymnosperm, whether in angiosperm, the cell is diploid, having two sets of the chromosome, and that's why the main plant body is said to be what? Sporophyte. But this sporophytic plant of the angiosperm, flowering plant, or the gymnosperm, when they reproduce, they produce the gametes, and the male and female gametes, they are gametophyte. You can see the example of, in the case of the plant, angiospermic plant, the main plant body is sporophyte. The flower is also sporophyte, but later on, when the pollen grains, they are produced by the stamen, by the anther. The spores, the pollen grains, they are haploid. The same like in the case of the carpel, when the egg is produced, the egg is haploid. So, during the process of the sporophytic plant, after the process of meiosis, they produce the gametes. The gametes, they are gametophyte. As you know, the gametes, they are unicellular in nature, and the gametophyte, again, the gametes, again, the egg, the male gamete, the female gamete, again they fuse together to form zygote, and zygote again, it becomes what? Diploid, and zygote develops into the new sporophytic plant. So here, the diploid stage, it comes for the maximum time, while the end stage, the haploid stage, is confined in the gametes only, in male and female gametes only. So haploid stage comes for the shorter duration. The haploid stage is also unicellular, because the sperm and ovum, both they are unicellular in nature, while the dominating stage is sporophyte, which is multicellular in nature. All the cells, so many cells, they are present in the sporophyte, and they help in the process of photosynthesis and for other functions. So in this case, in Haplontic, the main stage is haploid. In Diplontic life cycle, the main stage, the dominating stage is diploid. In Diplontic life cycle, the haploid stage is unicellular, and in the Haplontic life cycle, as I told you, the diploid stage, the zygote is diploid, the sporophyte is diploid in nature, which is unicellular. Now the third one is the Haplodiplontic life cycle. In Haplodiplontic life cycle, both the stages, the haploid and diploid stages, both the stages, they are multicellular. It's very, very important. Means, but the dominating phase may be haploid or may be diploid. You can also say that almost in Haplodiplontic stage, almost both the stages, they come for the maximum duration, they last for the maximum duration in the plants. For example, the Haplodiplontic life cycle occurs in Bryophytes and Pteridophytes, but still the dominating phase in the Bryophyte is Gametophyte, while in the Pteridophyte the dominating phase is Sporophyte. But haploid and diploid stages, both they are multicellular. That's why the Bryophytes and Pteridophytes, they perform Haplodiplontic life cycle. You can see here the diagram. Suppose in the case of Bryophyte, the main plant body is Gametophyte, having the haploid cells. The gametophytic plant produces the gametes, male and female gametes, and when the male and female gametes both they are fused together, syngamy, they form zygote. And again, the zygote, it forms a new sporophytic plant. Just you recall that the sporophyte is differentiated into the foot, seta and capsule. So the zygote, it forms the sporophytic plant, and this sporophyte is totally dependent on the gametophytic plant. But this sporophytic plant, this sporophyte is not unicellular, it is multicellular stage. Later on, the sporophyte, especially inside the capsule, so many spores they are produced, and these spores again, these spores are haploid, and later on each haploid spore can produce the new gametophytic plant. In the pteridophytes also, the main plant body is sporophyte. As you know, when the spores they are produced inside the sporophyll, inside the sporangia, and when the spores they are liberated, they come outside. Each spore can produce a new gametophytic plant that is called prothallus. Here also the gametophytic plant that is prothallus is thyloid in nature and multicellular. It lasts for some of the days, and later on when the prothallus bears the male and female sex organs, when the two gametes they are fused together, they form zygote, and zygote develops into the new sporophytic plant also. So that's all about Haplodiplontic life cycle. Overall, in Haplodiplontic stage, the haploid and diploid, both the stages, they are multicellular. Still, the predominating phase may be haploid or diploid. Like in the case of Bryophyte, the main plant is gametophyte, while in the case of Pteridophyte, the main plant is sporophyte. So that's all about all these three life cycle. Once again you can see in Haplontic life cycle, the predominating stage is haploid stage and the diploid stage is confined into the zygote, which is unicellular. In a single word you can say the haploid stage is the multicellular stage and diploid stage is the unicellular stage. Present only in the zygote. Here in Diplontic life cycle, the main plant body is sporophyte, which is multicellular, and the gametophytic plant is unicellular. But here both the diploid and haploid stages, they are multicellular. Still the predominating phase may be haploid or may be diploid. As in the case of bryophyte, the main plant body is gametophyte, while in the case of pteridophytes, the main plant body is sporophyte. So that's all about the life cycles of plants, which are haplontic, diplontic and haplodiplontic life cycle. Please note down some of the questions. Today this chapter is over, chapter 3. Today by evening I will be sending you the assignment also, and you are supposed to do all these assignment and send on the Google Classroom itself. Please note down some of the questions from the taught topics today. Question number 1. Explain Heplantic life cycle. Explain Heplantic life cycle in plants with the help of diagram. Explain Heplantic life cycle in the case of plant with the help of diagram. Question number 2. Name the plants in which Haplontic, name the plants in which Haplontic, Diplontic and Haplodiplontic life cycle takes place. Name the plants in which Haplontic, Diplontic and Haplodiplontic life cycle takes place. Question number 3. Differentiate between gametic meiosis and zygotic meiosis. Differentiate between gametic and zygotic meiosis. Question number 4. Differentiate between haplontic and diplontic life cycle. Differentiate between haplontic and diplontic life cycle. And the last question is, explain haplodiplontic life cycle. Explain haplodiplontic life cycle with the help of flowchart. So that's all for today. I will teach you the next topic tomorrow. Thanks.